A long time ago, somewhere in England, there was a place called the Enchanted Forest. Cusco the llama was banished by his own kind because of his arrogance. Cusco went to visit his old friend, Maid Marian the Fox, who lived in her mansion. One day, Marian helped Cusco move to Pride Rock. Once there, the llama encountered the Lion King, Mufasa, and his pride. They befriended him and welcomed Cusco to their kingdom. After little Simba's presentation, Cusco met Bagheera the panther and Baloo the bear. Mufasa teaches Simba how to be king. Cusco and Donald Duck are tricked by Kaa the snake, who took them to the Cave of Wonders. But Simba rescued the two animals after they found a genie's magic lamp. The animals befriended the genie, who helped them escape from the cave. The four heroes went on a misadventure in a small neighborhood far from the Enchanted Forest. There, they encountered a human called Diana Prince, who goes undercover as Wonder Woman. At first, she rescued a boy from a criminal. Then it is revealed that she dislikes wild animals. Wonder Woman was about to do something mean to Simba, but a bulldog fought her off and chased her away. Simba was safe. Back at the Enchanted Forest, Simba rescued his best friend Nala from a running herd of elephants in an accident. Meanwhile, Simba's mother, Sarabi, comforts her cub. They also spend the winter in the little cottage. A month later, Scar, formerly named Taka, betrayed his brother Mufasa and took over the throne. Simba went to live in exile. Sarabi sacrificed herself by defending Simba from a hunter named Amos Slade. Bagheera was about to take Simba to an orphanage, but Simba ran away. Cusco and Baloo defended Simba from Shere Khan the tiger. Simba defeated Shere Khan. Simba went to live with his friends in the forest. Months later, Nala reunites with Simba. Cusco was jealous of her, and he went to live in London town. Winter turns into spring. One day, after 10 years, Baloo took Cusco to see Simba and Nala, who both grew up and have a daughter named Kiara. Cusco realized that he and Simba will always be best friends. Bagheera sent the orphaned pony, Twilight Sparkle, her adopted pet baby dragon, Spike, and their friends, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and Rainbow Dash, to rescue Winnie the Pooh and his friends in America. There, they befriended Five-O Mousekewitz, who got separated from his family. The animals rescued Five-O from the villainous Warranty Cat and his henchmen. Five-O reunites with his family. After the animals moved in with the mice back in England, Twilight and Spike befriended Cusco the llama. Cusco gets chased by jaguars, but Piglet rescued the llama. Five-O befriended Woody the cowboy doll and Buzz Lightyear. Along with Rex the dinosaur, Five-O sets off on a quest to Skull Rock, somewhere in the woods. Twilight argues with Cusco about the way he treats his friends. The little unicorn defended him and Spike from Snips and Snails. Five-O befriended an Indian mouse named Cholina. Five-O, Pooh, and their friends battled Captain Pete and his pirate crew. When Twilight went to sleep over with Fluttershy, Spike and Cusco went on an adventure to Nottingham, where they met the llama's old friend, Robin Hood the Fox. Robin and Cusco rescued the little dragon from the Sheriff of Nottingham, and they escaped from Prince John. Spike reunites with Twilight. Months later, Twilight, Spike, and Cusco befriended Tom and Jerry, who find shelter on a farm in the winter. The duo met Sharpears the vixen, who is the adopted pet of the forester. When spring arrives, Tom and Jerry rescued Sharpears and her family from the ruthless hunter Gaston. In Thorn Valley, Spike met Miss Bianca, who encountered Mrs. Brisby. The two mice, however, became best friends. After a battle between Bernard and Professor Ratigan, Bianca rescued Brisby's children. One day, in Ponyville, Cusco defended Twilight from Prince Blueblood. Twilight went to hide in the forest because she was afraid Cusco will take her to an orphanage. Ashamed about the way he treats her, Cusco defended Spike and Fluttershy from Twilight's ex-boss, Miss Harshweenie. After Miss Harshweenie's defeat, Robin tried to help Cusco, but the llama and Spike moved out of Ponyville and searched for Twilight. After Spike and Cusco found Twilight, the three animals went to live on a farm. Through the seasons, they befriended Robin's little sister, Rita the fox. Bernard and Bianca are chased by Amos Slade's dog, Chief, but they escaped and they realized that Amos was the same human they are friends with in the first place. When he was a boy, the mice rescued him from a kidnapper. Meanwhile, the mice realized that Amos and Chief adopted a hound puppy named Copper. A month later, Bernard and Bianca are later married. In the summer, Twilight, Spike, Cusco, and the Pony Trio are on a trip in a jungle. There, they befriended Hugo the jungle animal, who lives with two apes named Zig and Zag. Hugo was kidnapped by Darth Maul, but he escapes from the Sith Lord and got lost in the forest. Twilight and her friends tried to help Hugo find a safe place to live. Hugo befriended Robin and Rita, who welcomed him to the forest. Rita was kidnapped by King Louie and the Banderlog, but Hugo and Robin rescued her from the apes. When Hugo and Rita went to find a new home, they befriended two Jedi warriors named Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn. After an encounter with Launchpad McQuack, the Jedi warriors taught Hugo how to use the power of the Force. Twilight, Spike, Cusco, and the Pony Trio defended Hugo and Rita from Snips and Snails. Obi-Wan battled Darth Maul and defeated him. Yoda believed that Hugo will become a powerful Jedi warrior. In London town, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, and Pinkie rescued Hugo from Count Dooku. Back in the Enchanted Forest, the animals encountered Obi-Wan's apprentice, Anakin Skywalker. Meanwhile, Cusco encountered Rarity and Applejack, who both resents Twilight. Elsewhere, Twilight and Spike are chased by the mysterious Darth Vader and his stormtroopers, who tried to sell them to a zoo, but they escaped and returned to Cusco. Fluttershy prevented Anakin from taking Hugo to a zoo. Rita met Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Cowardly Lion. In the village, Padme and Anakin planned on taking Hugo to a safe new home. Hugo went to confront Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader. Rita, C-3PO, R2-D2, and Chewbacca rescued Hugo. Vader reformed and defeated the Emperor. Vader was revealed to be Anakin in disguise. Sometime later, Rita moved in with Hugo in his jungle home. Throughout the seasons, Twilight, Spike, and Cusco befriended Simba and Nala's daughter, Kiara. Sometime later, Kiara went on an adventure with Gullible Fraggle and his friends who lived in the land of Fraggle Rock. They also encountered the Gorgs. Twilight and her friends prevented Scar and his hyena henchmen from taking over the Enchanted Forest. After Scar was defeated, Kiara and her childhood friend, Colvo, are later engaged. Twilight, Sparkle, Spike, and Cusco met a little fox named Todd, who got separated from his parents, Robin and Marion. Todd also befriended Copper. Todd gets chased by Amos Slade and Chief, but the animals came to the rescue. Todd was reunited with his parents. Months later, Todd and Copper met Vixie and Alu, who prevented the wicked Foulfellow and the sinister Lord Malice from taking over the forest. After an encounter with Malice, Twilight transformed into an alicorn. One day, Twilight and Todd had an argument. Enraged, Todd banished Twilight to the countryside. Spike went to find her. He gets attacked and chased by Todd. But Cusco rescued the little dragon, and they escaped from the fox. Todd killed Rarity and Applejack in a blind rage. After they bid farewell to Fluttershy, Pinkie, and Rainbow Dash, Spike and Cusco found Twilight, who changed back into a unicorn. The three animals went to live under a porch of a human's house in the countryside. After Todd and Vixie have fox kids, Twilight, Spike, and Cusco are welcomed by the house's owner, Tommy Oliver, who is the mighty Green Ranger. He adopted Twilight as his daughter. 7 years later, Twilight, Spike, and Cusco made new friends and went on adventures with Tommy. Twilight befriended a Pegasus named Flash Sentry, who fell in love with her. One day, Twilight gets tricked by Prince Blueblood, who wants to marry her. After Twilight escaped, Cusco battled Prince Blueblood and defeated him. Ashamed, Twilight went to hide in Tommy's backyard for 3 days. But when Tommy came to find her, Twilight reunites with him. Weeks later, Cusco and Tommy reluctantly allowed Twilight and Spike to be adopted by a couple friendly married horses who lived in the village. Sometime later, Flash Sentry visited Twilight. She changed back into an alicorn. Cusco realized that he and Twilight will always be best friends. 3 years later, the Enchanted Forest was abandoned by some of the animals because of Todd the Fox. Tommy became the Black Ranger. He and his new pet, Pluto the dog, encountered and befriended a little deer named Bambi, who is the son of the Great Stag. Bambi went to live with Mina as a foster family because his mother was hunted down by a human. Along with Tommy, Jiminy Cricket, Sully, Mike, Flower, and Thumper, Bambi went on a series of misadventures as he tries to win the heart of Feline. After an encounter with Goldar and circus animals in London town, Bambi went back to Mina. 3 weeks later, Bambi and Tommy battled the wicked Lothar and defeated him. Bambi finds Feline, and they are happy to be with each other. Sometime later, Tommy retired from being a Power Ranger. In his yard, Tommy sees Bambi, and they happily embraced. The story ends with Bambi and Feline, who both grew up and have a family.